Welcome to Halo Deconstructed. This is the only time you'll ever hear this rundown, so buckle up. This series dives into each mission of the Halo series and breaks it down into the writer's intention, the story's direction, and points of inspiration. The missions will be broke down using only knowledge we have learned previously through other missions or games and will not connect events to later ones, just as a first-time player would connect the story playing it through. Well, there's the rundown, and I can't spread this to 10 minutes, so let's just jump right in. The first thing we see when we boot up Halo 2 is the wake of your destruction of the first Halo. A ship just like the Truth and Reconciliation flies towards an armada of its brethren that orbit a ship larger than you can comprehend. The words, Covenant Holy City, High Charity, flash on the screen. Immediately this adds a new angle to the Covenant. In Combat Evolved, Halo was solely referred to as a weapon, and it was assumed that the Covenant just believed it was powerful and did not regard it as a holy relic. As the camera enters the council chamber, we can see that the dev team took heavy inspiration from the British Parliament, as the area could be mistaken for the House of Commons if given a different paint job. The loud council chamber is segregated by race, Sangheili and Sanshayum, who both present different interests within the Covenant. As we zoom into Thel and the Holy Prophets, we see that the Sangheili are at a lower class than the Sanshayum. The Sangheili are the guards of the palace, and the three leaders of the Covenant are all of the Sanshayum race. Within these few seconds of footage, we are able to construct a basic class structure in our head. We viewed the Sangheili at the top rung of enemies as they led every other class in Combat Evolved, and seeing that they now have overseers really makes us pay attention to the prophets, because what they say will have high importance on the scene and the story to come. Thel gives an account of Combat Evolved through Covenant eyes, while the Sanshayum and Sangheili counselors jeer at him below.
It's in my command.
When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty?
Blinded?
Paralyzed? Dumbstruck?
No.
Yet the humans were able to evade your ships, land on the sacred ring, and desecrate it with their filthy footsteps.
Noble hierarchs, surely you understand that once the parasite attacked...
There will be order in this council.
You were right to focus your attention on the Flood. But this demon, this Master Chief...
By the time I learned the demon's intent, there was nothing I could do.
Tardis is introduced briefly. He's just laughing in the corner. Now this is the first time a lot of Halo fans have ever seen a Brute, because not all of us were able to see the 2003 demo. Regret leans into Truth's ear and advises him to make a decision quickly to appease the council. While we see three prophets sitting upon the throne, it's heavily suggested that Truth calls the shots. He alone can make the ultimate decision on Thel's fate. Truth acknowledges that Thel was a great commander, and Thel adamantly tries to continue the fight against the humans, with no success. This quick interaction characterizes Thel and the elites thoroughly, a species built upon honor through combat. While we still have no real reason to like the Sangheili, we can empathize with Thel because we personally know how much of a walking tank the Chief is. As Truth sentences Thel to execution, he is approached by more Brutes after Tartarus gives the command. We can assume that Tartarus is either the leader of the Brutes or at least a very important one from this interaction. If the customized armor or the unique hairstyle didn't clue fans in from the two carbon-copied Brutes, the albinism hopefully makes him stand out like a sore thumb. Thel shrugs off a Brute and even hisses back, foreshadowing a bloody end to the Brute-Elite relationship. Thel walks down the path as Truth mentions the Great Journey for the first time. He doesn't go into any detail about the journey or the path taken, but we can safely assume that blowing up a Halo did not help scoot the progress along. Whether the Great Journey is a spiritual path to heaven or a star road to a space utopia, we know that Thel will be left behind. The scene shifts and a UNSC ship similar to the Pillar of Autumn passes by, revealing a bunch more Autumn-style ships and some new ones into the mix. A large space station with a weapon to compensate stands proud in the middle of the screen. The words flash, Earth Defense Platform, Cairo. A date flashes underneath as well, 10/22/2552, which tells us two important things. The first being that this takes place a month after Combat Evolved. But more importantly, the UNSC borrowed from the American calendar design. I wonder if they use Imperial for their measurements too. We go inside the station to meet Master Guns, the local armorer, lecturing Chief about keeping his armor from getting thrashed. From the totally fried optics to a topic I won't even get started on with the power supply, Guns is very concerned about the armor and the price. Without attempting to ease Guns, Chief delivers a classic one-liner.
Tell that to the Covenant.
Well, that's all for the Heretic. This video will be the shortest in the Halo Deconstructed series, just because we were only looking at a cutscene. I felt that the Heretic needed to go on its own because it's just such an important exposition dump for the rest of the game. The next episode will include the Armory and Cairo Station, so we'll actually see some FPS action. Don't worry, I'll be playing on normal so you don't see any screw-ups as I'm fighting through hordes of enemies by myself. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you feel I've done a good job. And I'll catch you in the next one.